Happy Monday. Um, Been a little bit since I last did a PNUG and was pondering this morning on what the topic should be for this particular PNUG. And so, this is kind of a problem. I'm having a hard time coming up with a topic to bring up. And then it hit me. Problem. Problems. We all face them, we all deal with them. Um, and who knew that vaunted rapper Vanilla Ice was such a wise individual when he said, "If you got a problem, yo, I'll solve it." And something about revolve it or whatever. I don't remember, but I do remember that line about solving the problem. And then I realized that that's something that I've heard before. I've had a couple of wise individuals in my life that shared that wisdom, that problems are, if you look at problems the right way, they'll be less of a hindrance and more be a source of propulsion. And one was Stella Tyler, whom I think is still alive. God, I hope. What a fantastic teacher. Stella Tyler was my math teacher that helped me. And now, don't you have to understand a little background on me. I struggled in math. Struggled. And who would have thought that I would have been a military engineer? Who knew? But if you would have talked to the ninth grader in me and said, "Hey, you're going to be a military engineer one day," I would look at you and be like, "No way." Yeah, I was a military engineer. One of the reasons why I was able to actually perform in that job, I give credit to Stella Tyler, who helped me overcome the problem of problems. She told me that you look at problems as an opportunity because problems are there to be solved, not to be looked at and complained over. So when you look at your math problems, you go to solve them, and I'm going to give you the tools and equipment to solve them. And so she did. And it took a little while. It started slow, but I gained more and more confidence. And one day, I graduated high school and went into the military confident when I went through my engineering school to be able to negotiate the school and graduate and actually do a job in the Air Force that required substantial mathematics. And I'm grateful for that. But this transcends just solving math problems. Problems present themselves all the time. Some are simple, and some are more complex. I think that we're given people in our lives as resources, not only for friendships and encouragement and other things that companionship, but I also think that people are put into our lives as resources because they may have been through what we're going through. I think of a exchange in this show called The West Wing, actually a pretty good show, where um, I'm trying to remember the character's name. Off the top of my head, I can't. Leo. Okay, so Leo, who's a recovering drug addict and alcoholic, is talking to somebody about this guy who is stuck in a pit and can't get out. And one day, a priest comes by and looks down there, and the guy yells up to the priest, says, "Father, help me! I can't get out of here." And so the priest writes up a prayer and throws it down, and he's stuck in the pit. A little bit later, a doctor comes down and sees him in the pit, and the man yells up, "Doctor, help me! I'm stuck in this pit. Can you help me out?" And so he writes a prescription and throws it down in the pit. And the man's still stuck in the pit. He's getting discouraged. And eventually a man comes by, a friend comes by, and jumps in the pit. And now all of a sudden the man's like, "What are you doing? Are you crazy? Now we're both stuck down here." And his friend looked at him and said, "Yes, but I've been down here before and I know the way out." And I think that when we're facing problems, it's so easy to look at the problem for what it is. It's a problem. And then instead of seeing it as an opportunity to move forward, to remove the obstacle, clear the path, because in doing so, not only does it open the way up for us, it could open the way up for others who are looking at us. And so I bring all this up to culminate to the concept of I have been griping and moaning about the problems facing the students I have for the last several weeks. How problematic e-learning is, and why about 35% of my students are failing a class that is not that difficult. Let's just be honest. And I started just griping, moaning. It's the problem is this, the problem's that, problem's this, problem's that. And then I woke up this morning and I'm doing my little steps and getting my steps in, and then all of a sudden this thought popped into my head. It was Vanilla Ice with that line, "If you got a problem, yo, I'll solve it." And then I heard Miss Stella Tyler saying, "Problems are there to be solved, not to be complained about." And so the wisdom of Vanilla Ice, coupled with the wisdom of Stella Tyler, had me thinking, and hopefully encouraging you as it encouraged me, to see problems as opportunities and less obstacles, that we can negotiate around them, that we have each other to rely on, who can jump in the pit with us and say, "Hey, I know the way out. I've been down here before." So as we face our problems this day and as we continue on, I hope that you realize and hear Vanilla Ice singing that song, that you don't just look at the problem and complain about it, because that's not going to solve it. But that we have wisdom in our own minds, in our own hearts, and through our own experiences, and wisdom with our friends that are God put into our lives, that will help us negotiate those problems and clear the path for not only ourselves, but for others. I hope you have a wonderful Monday. It's cooling off here in Chicagoland. The leaves are starting to change colors. We're supposed to have some days in the 30s soon. Brr. But anyway, be blessed, and I will talk to you soon.